Hello, racing fans. How you doing? That's some April Wine Fast Train. I think that might have been their first hit. It's certainly a song I've always loved. April Wine, great band. Hey, let's do some selections. Woodbine at Mohawk Park for Friday, May the 17th. I'm Doug Henwood, the Number Cruncher. Did I say that already? Happy to be with you. Let's get into it. The racing is awesome right now at Woodbine. Some phenomenal horses have shown up for the 2024 season, added to the great bunch we had already, and the racing's just off the hook. So let's see if we can't make some sense of it, understand what's going on, and cash a few tickets. That's the goal. Normally, I give you some feedback into the last week, and I'm going to dig that up. Sorry. Yeah, I got it right here. So on last Friday night, the reason I wanted to do this is I did quite well. Last Friday night, came out ahead $357 from our exacta boxes and try boxes. And then Saturday night, not so good, lost 77. So well ahead for last weekend. I'm doing okay. I'm going to actually give you a reporting early next week. I'm going to come up with a way to show you just how we are doing so far. I think that's important. If you're not keeping track, then potentially you're not giving yourself an opportunity to make some course corrections. That's the accountant in me. We need that kind of feedback. So here, let's get going. Remember, I want to give you front half information, middle move information, adjusted closing quarter information. I want to encourage you to follow along the races and track the track bias. That way you can use this additional info. And then, of course, I'm going to give you my selection. So let's get going. Race number 1 at Woodbine, Friday night, May the 17th. Front half speed, 9, 1, and 8. Middle move horses, it's the 3. Adjusted closing quarter, 10 on top. And then tied for second is 3 and 9. Selections, we're kind of on the outside. That always scares me a little bit, but again, potential for some payers. So coming up with the 10, Century Komodo, 7-2 on the morning line. Doug McNair, 26 and 4 is the adjusted closing quarter for this one. We're going back to September 21 of last year to pick up that number. Century Komodo's the pick for second. 9, Solid 9 Hanover. And the 3 horses for third, Be Sunny, and Brookdale George, the 1 for fourth. 10, 9, 3, 1 in the first to get us going. Race number 2, front half speed, a tie with 1 and 4. 3 is third. We have no middle move horse this race. Adjusted closing quarter, 6, and then 5, and then 4 and 8 are tied for third. So we're going to stick right with that closing quarter bunch for selections. I like the 6. Make Out With Me on top. Only a couple of starts so far this year. Last year did pretty reasonable. And again, we got a 26 and 2 right at the bottom of the program on September 21. We really do need to include these last fall times in order to gauge a horse what he's capable of doing. That's what we're looking for. What can the horse potentially do? What has he shown he can potentially do? So that 26 and 3 adjusted is a nice number. For second to 5, Reigning Jade, 1 start. They actually were in the same race. Again, another one that looks like he should be a good one, or she should be a good one. For third to 4, Better With Glasses, and 8, Wicked Leader rounds out the top 4. So 6, 5, 4, 8 in the second. Race number 3, front half speed, 7, 2, and 5. Middle move horse is the 3. Adjusted closing quarter, 3, and then tied for second, 2 and 4. Selections. It's an interesting race. You got some phenomenal mares, and Sylvia Hanover joins the party. So going to go with Sylvia. It's a subjective move, or really, again, you just got to go to a couple of her races last fall again. She just is a world beater if she's ready to go. And you know what? These good ones typically are. Sylvia Hanover right on top. Silver labeled a 4 for second. Prohibition Legal for third, and 5 Tells on a Roll for fourth. You know these are good when Tells on a Roll slides in as a fourth selection, when I've been using this one as my most likely selection several times the last couple of months. So great field of mares. 3, 4, 2, 5 here in the third race. Race number 4, start of the 20-cent pick 4. Front half speed 6, and then 3 and 4. No middle move horses. Adjusted closing quarter 8, 6, and 7. Selections. I'm going to go with the 6, Ms. Quicksand. This race is a mixed bag, and Miss Quicksand is pretty steady, pretty consistent, and I think this is a decent level for her. For second, the 7 horse Shoot the Whiskey, dropping into this class. Jody Cullen and Travis, they do a nice job with these. Ultimately, I think this was a Western horse. Many of the good Western ones have shipped to that barn, and the Cullens get the most out of them. So Shoot the Whiskey for second. Front Page Story might be the obvious one. Certainly a classy youngster. Ran in some big races last year. We'll give that one third position. And the 4 Western Wish in for fourth. Certainly got some class, that one. 6, 7, 8, 4 in the fourth. We'll give you the pick 4 as well. I'll come back and give that to you after the 7th. So race number 5, front half speed, a tie with 2 and 6, and then a tie for third with 4 and 5. No middle move horses. Adjusted closing quarter 4, 8, and 1. Selections this time. I'm going to go with Greatest Pleasure, the 5. You got great connections, Luke Blaze, Determination, Louis Philippe, and dropping into this, coming out of the SBOA prelims. So this horse looks pretty darn good. 26 and 1 in that race. I adjust that 2/5 of a second. So 26 and 3, and that is the best closing quarter on the program. Also figures as a speed horse, so double whammy. Greatest Pleasure looks tough to me. For second, Bonita's Best Bet. A little bit of a speed factor in here. Probably going to do better than it did first start this year. For third, the 1, Past the Delight. And Val Victorian, the 8 horse, for fourth. 4, 6, 1, 8 here in the 5th race. Race 6, 7, 6, 2 is our front half horses. Middle move, 7, and then 1 for second. And adjusted closing quarter, 7, and then a tie for second between 4 and 10. I don't know if you noticed, but 7 was the pick in each of those 3 categories. So pretty silly to think otherwise. Got to be going with the 7 as my selection. This Magic Moment. I've made This Magic Moment my most likely pick on the card to win for all the reasons I've just described. Front half pick, middle move pick, adjusted closing quarter. This Magic Moment to win. For second, the 6, Kiss My Cheek. For third, the 10, Shipper from Pocono and Philly. Nice time at Pocono. Don't think this one will love post 10. And then Premier Eris for fourth. 7, 6, 10, 4 here in race number 6. Race 7, front half speed, 3, 2, 7. No middle move horses. Adjusted closing quarter, 1, 7, and 3. So my pick, I'm going to go back to the 1, Give Me Carrots. I was just mentioning, this was a deep crunch selection for me last week, and finished 6th, but didn't get beat by a lot. Well, guess what? The calculation's still there. Closing quarter-wise, this horse just stands out from this field, and that's pretty weird when you consider I'm sure it's going to be a longer shot again. Certainly not the selection, that's for darn sure. One of these weeks, he could easily pop up. Why not tonight? Give Me Carrots is the pick. For second, the 3, Epic Dreamer, really running well now. James McDonald, steady the last couple of times, so for sure makes tons of sense. Chulo dropping, give that one third place. And Cadillac, the 7, for fourth. That's the 7th race. So here's the pick 4 starting in the 4th race, 20-cent variety. 4, 6, 7, and 8 with 4 and 6. I'm going to key the 7, this magic moment, in the 6th. And then in the last leg, 1, 3, 4. Only costs $4.80 because we're keying the horse. Race number 8, front half speed, 4, 7, and 2. No middle move horse again. Adjusted closing quarter is 5, and then a tie with 1 and 9. Selections, going to go with the 5, Barstool Mountain. Just the one qualifier so far this year, but it was a great qualifier, won easily. And last year we go to the middle of its campaign in July. It turned in a 25 and 4. And again, that is a sizzling final quarter, better than anybody in here has shown. So we'll go with 25 and 4, Barstool Mountain as the pick. For second, Vincenzi Blue Chip. I had this one last week, keyed it in my pick 5, and of course it blew up at the first turn. So disappointing, but this one's got some speed. Louis Wah, I expect this one to be close to the engine again if it holds together. Definitely capable of the win. Definitely factors in here. So I got Vincenzi Blue Chip for second. For third, Always Be Melman, another one who ran really good last week. So figures for a piece. And Twin B Crunch Time, the 1 for fourth. So I like 5, 4, 7, and 1 in the 8th race. Race number 9, front half speed. 6 and 9 are tied, and then 4 and 5 are tied for third. No middle move horses. I got a bunch of closing quarter horses, so get your pen ready. 1's the pick, 2 is the second pick, but there's 4 horses tied for third. 5, 6, 8, and 10. We need to at least understand that. I don't handicap the numbers that I'm taking from the program, so I simply present them, and that's the story in terms of closing quarter for this race. So I've interpreted all that for myself. I like the 1 as my pick, American Blizz. That scratched sick last time. Prior to that was running actually quite well. Got the rail, 8 to 1 on the morning line. I like all of that. I know the old trotters on the rail thing. Hopefully get away with that bad combination, but typically the rail's not a horrible place to be versus an outside post. So I like American Blizz on top. For second, My Holy Moly. For third, ER Norma, the 5. And 6, Talismano rounds out the top 4. 1, 2, 5, and 6 here in the 9th. Race number 10, front half speed, 1, 2, 4. No middle move horses. Adjusted closing quarter, 7, and then 3, and then 5 and 6 tied for third. Selection-wise, I've gone with the 3, Snow Shark. Back in business, took a little time away, really motored at the end of its last start. At 26 and 2 is right with the best here. The only one that figures with it is the 7. I've got the 7 for third. For second, I'm going with Gouda. Pretty steady, dropping a category out of the preferreds actually into these. So Gouda certainly figures. And then 7, Caviar and Crackers, just seems to be awfully good since arriving again from Western Canada. It was running at Century Mile in Edmonton. Chief's Dream Girl rounds out the top 4 for fourth. So 3, 2, 7, 6 here in the 10th. Race number 11, front half speed. This is the jackpot high 5, by the way. Front half speed is 7 with 1 and 9, tied for second. No middle move horses again. Front half speed, 3 and 6 are, sorry, not front half speed. Adjusted closing quarter, 3 and 6 are tied. And then for third, 9 and 10 are tied. Selection-wise, I've gone to Need to Breathe. Just good. It's not hard to remember how good this horse was last year. Filly and Mares dominating for a while, and this is really, really low in terms of the claiming category, or not the claiming category, the condition category. So Need to Breathe, tried it earlier this year, didn't quite have its act together. Hopefully that qualifier is telling us this time around Travis Cullen and Jody Cullen have this one ready to go. So makes sense to try Need to Breathe on the top, even though it's probably going to be the favorite. Just as dangerous as the 6 for second, Twin B Tipster, another one that quietly is moving down a category. And when Twin B Tipster gets this low, she's tough. And on top of that, she's tied as our adjusted closing quarter pick. So Twin Bee Tipster for second. For third, the 9, Mystic Wild Rose. The 3, Take Your Breath Away for fourth. And 2, Better's Punch for fifth. So 5, 6, 9, 3, 2 here if we want to take a run for that jackpot high 5. Let's go back to the 8th race, and I'll give you a 20-cent pick 4 from the last four races on the card. 4 and 5 in the first leg. 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 10 in the second leg. Obviously, I feel I need to spread. 2, 3, 7 in the third leg. And then finally 5 and 6 to end it. Only $14.40. I think that's the sweet spot. If I can get away cheap, I want to. I really don't want to spend more than $20. $14.40, I'm pretty comfortable trying these guys out for what we can maybe win if we hit one of these. So that's the 20-cent pick 4, the late pick 4. That's the card, May the 17th, Friday night at Woodbine. Looking forward to it. I'll be back before you know it with Saturday night information. My pleasure. Hope you all have a lot of success. Hope you can use some of this information. Good luck, guys, and have some fun. Bye-bye.